Now, what x and y values, if the x and y values are real, meaning non-imaginary, which value or values for x make the following function true? So what x values can I plug into here and it would be true outputs? So the key is, to make this have true outputs, you basically need to make this right here has to stay positive. Because if this became negative, it would malfunction the radical. So basically, 3 plus x must be positive or greater than 0. Now, could it also equal 0?
No.
Can you have a 0 in a square root?
No.
You can in a square root. So it could be greater than or equal to 0. Now, so what does x have to be greater than? Can I just minus the 3 over real quick? And I got x is greater than or equal to negative 3. So all values greater than or equal to 3, negative 3, sorry. All values greater than or equal to negative 3 can be plugged in here. Anything less than that cannot be plugged in there. It would cause an error because you'd get a negative in the square root. Number 2. If x and y are real numbers, what are the possible value or values of y? So what are the possible outputs? Y means outputs. So I could put anything I want to an exponent. That's what it's saying. You could put any number you want in for x, but you can't get every possible output. First of all, if you focus in on this right here, do you understand it's the exponential growth? It's called an exponential growth. This is an exponential growth because this is greater than 1. Do you also understand that exponential growths look like this? And they have an asymptote. They kind of grow like this. Now, so what values could I get out of this? Well, let's plug some numbers in to see what would happen at the extreme x values this way and extreme x values this way. So a large x value, let's plug in, say, 100. That's a large x value. From the graph, won't we know it's going to be really tall, really big? So if I plugged in, say, y equals 3 to 100, isn't 3 to 100 just a really, really big number? Could I basically say that's probably like infinity plus 2? Which is basically infinity? Which means, doesn't it go on forever? So this is going to be a really, really big number. Very big. So it's going to go forever high. But let's think the other direction. Instead of putting in a positive 100, let's put in a negative 100. Well, when you plug in a negative, what that does, you got to remember, it flips it. Negative powers flip, so you got 1 over 3 to the 100. And 3 to the 100, as we said earlier, is practically infinity. It's just such a huge number. Let's just call it infinity for now. So wouldn't it be 1 over infinity plus 2? Now, what's 1 over a really, really, really big number? Isn't that practically just like 0 plus 2? Or very, very close to 0? It's such a small number, it's almost 0. So wouldn't this technically just be about 2? Your final result will be somewhere around 2. So if you think about it, your y values, don't they have to be greater than 2? Aren't your y values going to be greater than 2? Because for this one, don't you have 0 plus 2? So basically it has to be something greater than 2. Where this one, as you went on for really big numbers, don't you get a really, really huge number? So isn't it considered from 2 to infinity? Or y is greater than 2? So your outputs can be larger than 2. Next one. If x and y are real numbers, which value or values of x make the following function true? What you got to remember is logs. What can you not plug into a log? You cannot plug in a negative. So this x plus 7 has to be positive for it to be true. Positive means it's greater than 0. Now, It's greater than 0. Is it greater than or greater than or equal to? It's greater than, because can you put a 0 in a log? No, so that's just greater than. Let's solve this. So x must be greater than negative 7. For it to be true, you must plug in a number greater than negative 7. Anything else will not go into it. You cannot plug any number less than negative 7 into this function. It'll have an error. It will not work. The last one. If x is a real number, what are the possible value or values for x? The first step on this one, actually, is to factor the top. So if I factor the top, negative 28, negative 3. What are my sides? Hopefully you notice negative 7 and 4. So we have x minus 7, x plus 4, over x minus 7 equals x plus 4. Can anything cancel? The x minus 7's cancel, leaving us x plus 4 equals x plus 4. So let's solve this to find our x values. But when I solve it, watch what happens. Don't my x's disappear? Now when your x's disappear, it's either no solutions or infinitely many. Is this a true or false statement? True. It's true, so this means all real numbers. But there's an exception. All numbers work, but look back at your original function. Is there one number that would cause a problem? Wouldn't 7 cause a problem right here? If you plugged in negative 7, what's going to happen on the bottom? You get a 0. If you plug 7 minus 7, that'd be a 0. That causes a problem. So it's all real numbers except which one? 7. All real numbers except 7. So everything but 7 will work.